shall a man leave his father and his mother and cleave unto his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. That means God's plan for every couple is that they become one. Now, don't get me wrong. If you don't practice what I'm about to say, I'm not condemning you. I'm not judging you. And I'm not saying you need to stop what you're doing. But I am going to give you God's perfect plan. There's a permissive will of God. There's a perfect will of God. I'm not talking about permissive will now. I'm not talking about permissive will in terms of what God will allow. I'm talking about God's perfect will. His original plan. God's financial plan is that couples become one. Not one in some aspects of their lives and two in other aspects of their life. They are to become one in all things. They two shall become one. So when you ask me about joint accounts, I said couples that are in their right mind, have the right concept of relationship, have the mind of God in them, have come to the stature of Christ, have come to know the will, the perfect will of God, and are willing to stay and stand within that perfect will of God, should have one account. The family should have one account. But if you have a situation that is different from that, this is not judging you, this is not condemning you. You are doing what works for your relationship, but it's not the perfect will of God.
Okay, what if you have a joint account but you still have your personal account? Or maybe you've had your personal account before and then you got married, but now you guys are doing joint account. You are running both accounts. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I hear what Pastor Liz just said now could confuse people. So
How?
let me make this clear. It's not about joint accounts, separate accounts.
Okay.
It's about joint interest.
Okay.
It's
Working
not,
together.
It's not whether you have one account here, one account there, or the only account you have is joint account. No, your money, your bottom line ought to be one. So whether you have 20 accounts, I and my wife practice joint account, but she has an account in her name, I have an account in my name, but we are still transparent.
We still have access to all accounts.
Yeah.
She has access to all my accounts, I have access to all her accounts. It's about having joint interest.
That's correct.
And that comes the question of whose money is it? Right? Whose money is it is the next question that comes from that. Okay, which one is my money, which one is your money? When it comes to God's perfect will, there is no your money and my money. Somebody told me some time ago, I never forget that. I think it was Pastor Kinsley's wife, Sister Nina. I can't remember if she's the one. Let me not put it on her. But somebody told me one day that I think it was Sister Nina. If I'm wrong, Sister Nina, forgive me. She said, "My money is my money. My husband's money is our money." If that's not you, Sister Nina, please forgive me. So, but somebody told me that. I thought I recall this, Sister Nina. But nonetheless, what I'm saying in essence is, there's nothing like that. It doesn't exist.
How?
Women will say, my money is my money. My husband's money is our money.
Well, but if that's how they want it, I think that's not bad. Why? Because men like to take care of the bills. It shows their strength and their...
Where in the Bible
It says
does
so.
it say that men have to take care of the bills? Can you tell me?
I'm not saying, but some men like to have that, it
shows
gives them-
they're responsible.
It shows their ego spirit and
Yes,
their
that
responsibility.
they're the
and that's
man.
great. You can continue to pay the bills and I continue to keep the money I have.
That's impractical, especially in this part of the world. Completely impractical. Your husband, I've seen marriages break because of that. Men slaving, going into debt, dying gradually to take care of their families.
Pastor Lanre,
and their wives work.
I decline that with you immediately before you finish it. Why? Because the reason why some women do not support their husband is when that man is making all that money, he does not consult the wife for nothing. The wife does not have the information of how much he's making, how he's spending his money. But when they are broke, they now want to do joint account. They want to do joint interest. They want the woman to be transparent. Were you transparent when you had your money? Why should I be transparent when we were not doing transparency before?
At the
This is
beginning.
the problem that relationships are having. If a man is transparent like you are transparent, I'm transparent with you. But if I don't know how much you make, I don't know how you spend the money, I don't have a business in asking you, you just tell me, woman, I'm paying the mortgage. That's the only information you are privy to. Why then do you want to know how much I make and how I spend my money? There's a problem with that equation. Things need to be balanced.
I believe you're correct. That is a relationship that has gone awry.
No.
Things
It's not
are
a relationship.
fundamentally wrong.
There are a lot of relationships like that.
And they have gone awry. Things are fundamentally wrong in
Right.
those relationships. So if a wife thinks her husband should slave to death while she has money to spare, I think that the relationship has gone fundamentally wrong. Perhaps because of what the man has done in the past.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perhaps
Yes.
because there is no trust for the man. Perhaps because of what you said earlier, that the man has taken the woman's money before to go have concubines and live a lascivious life. So then the woman, of course, doesn't want to chip in her money into anything.
Pastor Lanre,
that has to do
I'm
with
going to
family.
say this again. Let me be very clear that women are very easy to deal with. Most women are easy to deal with. It depends on the picture you show to your wife.
Yes, how you treat
If
her.
the man is clear and transparent, the woman will have no reason not to be transparent.
That's if the
I'm a
woman is
woman.
not a Jezebel or a
Oh,
Delilah.
Pastor Lanre, please.
There are
A lot of
Jezebels.
problems in marriages
There
are
are
caused by
Delilahs.
a lot of problems in marriages are caused by men, not women.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Because
That is
men
such
can,
a generalistic
men,
statement.
some
it's
men can
not.
be,
It's-
yeah, they can be
that
cheat,
is a
cheaters. They
They are
can
the cheats.
419
They are the
scammers.
spenders.
Yes.
They are the one hiding a password.
Yes,
Let them very
hiding
well.
everything.
They are always the cause of the problem.
So there are no cheating wives.
I'm not saying they are not cheating, but
No.
it's very rare.
There are no ungodly wives.
It's very rare.
Very rare.
But
I
they
agree.
exist.
They exist, sir.
Not
But
as much as the men, but they exist.
but men
so
are
let's
more-
not generalize.
Most women.
It's very important that we
they're
don't
more
generalize.
dominant in that
Pastor
And there
area.
are also women that have money problems. They have issues. They are as stingy as the
I
devil.
will say no.
They are acagons.
No.
Abba, this is where
I will let the doctor of relationship go.
Answer
Ma,
this
this
But
one.
we are ready for you people today. Let me say,
Exactly.
they better make it men versus women tonight. Today,
Yes.
Because I'm really ready to
There's no
really.
men versus women. There's scripture versus unscripture.
Oh, okay. So Pastor Lanre, what does the scripture say? If a man does not show his account, I don't know how you are spending your money. I don't have business with your
Then
money.
that
You
man-
only pay your bills, and you want me to submit my paycheck. Heaven knows, Father, arise.
Bible says that man is worse than an infidel.
Oh well, he better be an infidel now.
He is worse than an infidel.
And I'm
He's
not going
a
to
godly
submit
man.
under a man that has
Any man
infidelity,
that does that,
that
is
is
not a
that
man
has
of
an
He's
infidel.
not a man of God.
He needs to change.
He's
Yes.
not godly. That man is an unbeliever. If you are going to treat your wife, treat your family like that, you are an unbeliever. You are worse than an infidel. You are worse than an unbeliever.
Women are very soft-hearted and they are very kind.
Not all
man.
Not
women.
all, most.
Not
Pastor
most.
Lanre.
Let's
Most
not talk
women.
about most or more or less or let's talk about
Across the board.
across the board.
Right.
Let's
Okay.
talk about what happens that every family is supposed to practice.
Okay.
So, Pastor Liz, don't come here with your feminist feelings and act like
I'm a
women
voice.
are-
I am a voice for
No,
women.
no.
I see what women go through in marriage. And tell you the truth, not because I'm not going through it doesn't mean I don't feel for them. You know, I have
Pastor
a
Liz,
strong feeling.
I
I'm
am-
so
I am a-
privileged
I
and
am a
honored
feminist
to be married to you. But sincerely, Pastor Lanre, if
Women are suffering.
if you were not good to me,
Man,
don't know.
not all women. Men are dying.
How is that,
Pastor,
sir?
they better-
Men
they-
are
I would say-
dying.
Men are dying because you really find a man who is exceptionally extravagant. You really find a man who is owing huge sums of money. Women are owing on their credit card. They keep spending on their credit card. Man, you know it. Man, you know better than I do. I know you're trying to defend the women
listening to
today.
you. I'm getting what you're
Women go, they owe the most. If statistics in Canada shows women are owing the most.
Okay.
Because the women go into their credit cards to support the man.
Yeah.
To cover the
Pastor
man. I beg
Yeah.
to differ that,
God
Pastor
is
K.
listening to you.
I beg to differ.
God
The
is
woman go
watching.
into her credit card to help carry the family.
Yeah. See, what happens with men is that men are more keen on paying the bills. They see the bills first.
That's great.
Most men, let me not say all. I'm not going to speak for all the men, because there are some men too who don't even care about the bills. Their wives are carrying the bills. So, but what I'm trying to say is that when you look at people who spend and who tend to be the issue when it comes to financially in some marriages, is usually the women.
Okay.
But the issue, if you tell me now, men, the problem they have is that they're always trying to support their family, their extended family.
Okay.
Trying to hide behind their wives to send money to families
Which is
back
also
home.
very wrong.
Which
Yes.
I can say, yes, that is the area where some men hide. But the key thing is this. When it comes to extravagant, the women have it.
And I will not say no to that because women like to shop.
Yes.
I won't say no. A lot of women are not disciplined. They are vain. They like buying things they cannot afford. Spending money. They sometimes run their family into bankruptcy, which is true. But the fact of the matter is that will not happen if both parties are practicing transparency
Right.
and unity in money spending.
Yes.
But that is what I said right from the beginning.
But the men don't like to. I have noticed men don't like to be
Don't
under.
say men, say some
men.
Some men, just like we say some women.
Some
Pastor
men
Lanre,
don't
let me
like
be-
to
no,
take
no, let me-
directions
I'm
from
going to give
women.
it to you directly, Pastor Lanre, and ask you a question.
Okay?
Have you ever bought things that you were hiding from me? Because you are the spender.
I was hiding from
That you hide, that you buy and hide.
My wife putting my pastor on this
Not
spot.
that-
No, I'm going to put you on the I recall a lot. Sometimes you go shopping, buy 5 shoes, put it in the garage, and the kids come and tell me, Daddy bought shoes. He's hiding them.
hiding shoes.
Yeah, because you know that you like to spend.
Pastor Elizabeth.
This is getting real.
I'm not the spender. I don't buy
You
anything.
are talking about the senior pastor of the Citadel International.
Hallelujah.
Hiding shoes. I'm too big to hide shoes.
Pastor Lanre, you buy things and you hide. Yes or no?
If shoes are what I'm hiding, then I'm not hiding. That is insignificant.
No, the
I'm
moral
too blessed to be hiding
The
shoes.
moral of this thing is, when people marry a spouse that are spenders, there is always problem.
But they need to come to an understanding.
Yes,
that's
they
true,
do.
sir.
It's very important that they come to an understanding. I don't believe in the issue of women hide their money, their husband pays all the bills, and the husband is dying and suffering, drowning in debt, and the wife refuses to help and she goes to work. You know, if you're an housewife, it's different.
Yeah, that's true.
But you work. And God has nothing against women working.
Okay.
In Africa, we have a bastardized misunderstanding that women should be housewives in some cases. But there's nothing against women working in Scripture.
Okay.
The perfect plan of God, the will of God, has nothing against women working and supporting their families.
And
I'll
that's
read this
very
to you.
clear in the book of Proverbs. If
Yeah,
you
that's
look
what
at
I'm
the
about to
Proverbs
read.
woman, she's working.
The Bible says in Proverbs 31, the heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like a merchant's ship. She bringeth her food from afar.
That's
so
great.
there's nothing wrong with a woman working
And women do
and
work.
helping her husband.
Even in Africa, Pastor Lanre, women do work. A lot of women work. Most women that stay home to be housewife, I tell you the truth, from my statistics, is the husband or the man that tells them to be a housewife.
Yeah.
Because he wants, not all the time, but most of the time, they want them to stay at home to take care of the children, or they want to be able to control the woman.
Why are we all out on men today? What's going on?
That's not the case. It's not that they want to control. Like, I've seen it happen here in North America when women have 2-3 kids and their husband just want, okay, let's raise the kids a little bit, because what's the need? You're going to a job, you're earning $4,000, and we're paying daycare $3,500 for the 3
Which
children.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So that's why some of the reason why I see some women stay home, but is based on discussion. They agree with the husband. That's why they stay home, and they are not necessarily housewives. I don't call them housewives.
Because
they are
they still do
homemakers.
little things. They do a lot at home.
Yeah, they are homemakers at that particular time, but it is an agreement between husband and wife. But however, any man who decides to force the wife to stay home for no just reason, and I don't see that as a good thing. For me, I don't. That man has a complex issue.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
Can we move forward?
Yeah. So, what's your take on this issue? What's your final advice to people, especially to couples, on this issue of financing and all that?
Joint account.
Joint account and all that.
I've said it. I don't know
Now,
if you like what you're hearing, I don't know.
Okay.
But I've said it. God's plan is clear.
Okay.
The two shall become one.
We know the God's plan, Pastor. We are talking about the practicality.
I'm talking about the practicality as well.
Okay.
The word of God, whether it's practical to you or it's not practical, it's practical to God.
Okay.
So you need to find a way to apply God's principles and concepts into your own relationship.
Okay.
So if you have issues that are preventing you from staying within God's plan, you need to solve those issues.
Yeah.
And if it's a character issue, if it's a fundamental character issue or behavioral issue, then you need to mitigate it.
Yes.
Find ways to solve that problem so that there will be no dishonesty in your relationship.
Amen. Amen.
So if your wife is a shopaholic, find a way to get her help to solve that problem. If your husband is an adulterer, is a stingy
It's a drunkard or something.
guy,
Yeah.
or is a drunkard, then find ways to mitigate the problem.
What ways would you, maybe I throw this to Doctor of Relationship, what ways would you advise for women or men to help each other if they are married to somebody that is a cheat or somebody that is a drunkard? What advice would you give them on how to maintain their money, to keep their money?
I'm going to answer this question by a little bit looking into answering the other question about joint and separate accounts. Like, I am the one who spends more in the house. My wife will probably not want to pay for anything. She doesn't want to spend money.
Yeah.
Like, she takes her time. She goes for shopping to buy a dress. She'll probably go to that store 4 or 5 times before she pays for it. I walk in there, I'm coming out with that dress in 5 minutes. So I spend more in the house. So what we did was that we now, because I had credit card of about $40,000. So, and I blew the credit card, and all I had left there was about $1,000. So as soon as, I'm using this as an example because I spend, like, I feel that what's the need? I'm a man, I like adult toys, TVs, stereos, and whatnot. What's the need having a TV in the house, the same TV for 2 years?
So you want to constantly change
TV
them.
needs to be changed after 2 years. And I like big screen TVs. So my wife just feels that is waste of money.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So now what we did, what we agreed together is that she said, okay, we need to understand the finances. We need to know that, okay, we are having kids, and this case needs to be brought up. And for them, they will go to university, and we don't want them to go and get student loan. So we need to now plan our finances very well. Once you have, and when we pay down the credit card, I go back again and spend. So she's like, the kid,
They should take it from you.
no, she can't take it. I'm the breadwinner here. I'm winning the bread all the time.
I thought we were open here, Pastor King.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm talking. That's what I'm explaining. I'm explaining. Yes.
Okay.
So we now got to the point that, okay, look at this credit card. Anytime we pay it out, because I also pay it out. I pay it out.
It doesn't matter.
And I
It's our
spend it.
money. Yeah.
It's our money. God
Yes.
bless you, man. Now we're getting on board. So what we did was that, because it takes more to pay out a $40,000 credit card, we now cut down the limit. We cut it down to a $5,000 credit card.
So that you'll be limited in your spending.
I'll be limited in my spending.
So that there's no temptation.
That wasn't enough. Then the $5,000 wasn't enough. Bank will always keep offering you, because once they see your paycheck, they want to increase your credit card. So we now agreed. My wife said, other than my business credit card, no other credit card in the house, including house, should be over $1,000.
Okay.
This curtailed my spending.
Well, that's a good plan.
This brought so I'm using this, for example, for those, so that people can, I use myself so that other people can also learn from that. So we cut every credit card other than my business credit card, because we couldn't cut that. We cut every credit card down to $1,000.
Good.
And for me, we have credit cards that are also USD. For the USD credit card, I know that except when I'm traveling to the US, I don't need that credit card. So she's the one, she has the credit card in her purse because I know she won't spend it. I will give my wife my credit card for a week and I'll forget that she has my credit card. It comes back intact. You understand? So what I know is that the key thing is reduce the limit. Two of you should agree and reduce the limit. Then if you have a joint account, you should also reduce the daily spending limit on the card. A man doesn't want you to control him, control his money. Or control, okay, as Ma, you said, you guys.
Can you rephrase,
yes,
Pastor Kingsley?
Man, that's what I'm saying. To control him when it comes to spending in the family money, most especially if the man is the one who is earning the most money.
What do you mean?
If the man is earning more, like say he's.
Oh, if I'm a stay-home mom now, then you are working.
Yes,
so you are earning the money, so what am I doing?
So if you see, that's why I'm saying there is a way you go about it. I'm just telling you how men process things, man. You can't tell me that I can't spend my money because that's what he's gonna be thinking.
It's not your money.
It's our money.
It's our money.
But
Let's get this right.
That's the way the man thinks. Man, I'm telling you.
Then they need a mentality change.
It is gonna take time, but for the time being, so the key thing is you guys need to agree on this and say, okay, this is our money. This is our future we're talking about. And because it's our money, it's not. Though you are the one making the money, but it's our money. It's the money for both us and our children.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. The woman needs to make the man understand that. We need to put a daily spending limit on this so that at the end of the day, we can still have a future to look forward to.
Okay, that's a good idea, reducing the credit limit so that there's no temptation. Pastor Lanre, what would you advise?
I would advise couples to list each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Okay.
If you already know what your weaknesses are, it's easy or easier to mitigate them. So in our relationship, just like
nobody buys anything without asking the other party.
I am more of a spender, you are more of a saver. And we came to a point whereby we put that on the table. There has to be honesty.
Oh, but you have really changed, Pastor Lanre. I must give it to you. You have really come a long way.
Well, thank you for kudos.
You have really changed.
A plus.
Let's not talk about before. Let's talk about now. Okay, so we put it on the table. Okay, you like to spend. I am not much of a spender. So you have that weakness. I have this strength, right? So once we put that on the table, then we made it clear that she has to protect us from bankruptcy. She has to protect us from financial distress. So we came to a conclusion that she will be the saver for the family. That's one. Number two measure we put in was that spending anything beyond a particular amount of money needs the other party's consent. Consent.
Yes.
So we say if there's going to be anything over $200 spent, then you need your spouse's consent.
Yes.
If it's less than $200, okay, then maybe you can spend it at your discretion. But you still let your spouse know that this is what you have spent. So, don't get me wrong. That means before you spend $200, you need their consent. If it's less than $200 and you spend it, you don't hide it. You don't need their consent, but you need to inform them of what you have done. So that there's complete honesty,
openness,
and transparency.
Yes.
So with that being said, we also have an understanding that whenever there is crisis or there's a need to be met, and we both have disagreement on how we should handle the financial issue, we don't go forward until we come to an agreement.
Okay.
There is nothing like, it's my money, I can do whatever I like.
I think that concept needs to be removed completely from marriages. The concept of it's my money.
It's my money.
And I mean, it's just not right if we are operating it's my money. If both people are one, it should be our money, regardless of how much the man is making or how much the woman is making. If it's our money, then I should have a say in it. You should have a say in it. And then we should all come to an agreement on what we want to buy. Don't show up with
And it doesn't matter if it's the man making the money
It's still our money.
or it is the woman making the money. Let's not get it wrong. There are some families where the woman makes more money
than the
than the husband.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's still our money. It shouldn't be your money.
I know families where in Canada, especially in this part of the world, where the wife is a medical doctor, the husband is just an employee somewhere earning about $50,000 a year.
Okay.
The wife is earning up to $500,000 a year. It is still our money.
Okay.
It is. I
Yes.
mean, let's get everybody to type it's our money. Let's change the concept and the mentality. Why don't you write it there? It's our money. Continuously, if you say that, if you
It
keep,
will get into
it
your
will
head.
get into your mind and your spirit to know it's our money. It's a joint effort, regardless of what I'm putting. If I'm staying home to take care of the children, it's our children, not my children. So if you are going to work and get the money, it's our money, not your money.
Now, I've heard some married couples say, you know what? No, I'm flipping the script here. Your debt is your debt,
Yeah, that's another issue right there.
right? And it's a big issue. My debt is my debt. Okay? When the Bible says the two shall become one.
Well, the big question is, how did you get in that debt?
That's where to start from.
Yeah?
Was it your debt or your credit card when you were getting into it? Or our credit card? Because if it was our credit card, then we would have both had a say in getting into that debt.
Yes.
And in that case, it will not be your debt, it will be our debt. Am I making sense?
And I get that concept of where you are going to from personal, but I'm going to back you up to the biblical principle you shared a few minutes ago. It doesn't matter if it's how you got into it or where you got into it. It's our
Our
debt.
I agree completely.
Because the two shall become
Come
one.
one.
You need to do your duty like Sister Anna did to Pastor Kingsley.
Cut
to
it down,
curtail
yes, yeah.
or to cut down that spouse from getting into extra debt if they are spenders. It's your responsibility. It's our debt.
I agree with you completely. It's our debt. All I'm saying is, it should be our debt at every particular point in time. Right? When I counsel people who are getting married, I tell them you are marrying both assets and liabilities.
Yeah?
Yeah?
So we want to put them on the table. Are you willing to take on these liabilities? Because when they come to my office, okay, how much student loan do you have? How much credit card debt do you have? How much line of credit debt do you have? How much investment debt do you have? Whatever kind of debt you have, we are putting it on the table. How much asset do you have? Home and abroad. Whether it be in Africa or in Canada, what do you own on the face of this planet? What do you owe on the face of this planet? It is very important that we put that on the table because you are also saying, I do to the debt.
Yes? Yes?
You are saying, I do to the student loan. So what the pastor is actually saying on the altar, on the day of your wedding is, do you, Robin Apenteng or Robin Kaurongo, take this student loan to be your lawfully wedded loan
Really?
till death do you part?
Basically, yeah, that's true. Yeah?
You are marrying all.
Yeah.
You cannot
So
choose
all
what
or
you're marrying.
nothing.
All
You
or
are-
nothing.
Yeah.
You are marrying it all.
Yeah?
So everybody needs to understand that. And if you have that understanding, then when you're doing financial dealings in your relationship, you do better.
Yes.
And you know the two have become one. Okay, let's go forward.
So I have an advice for people who are already married, who may not have gone through counseling. So for those who are already married, especially the men, I want to talk to you about this because most men believe that women can manage money, and which is wrong. I just gave you an example of that. Yes, ma'am, I'm telling you the truth. So I just gave you an example of what happened to me. So the key thing you need to understand is that you need to now bring your debt to the table and discuss with your wife. I bet you she will support you in paying them out.
And your assets too.
And your, yes, also your assets. Don't hide the assets.
Don't hide
But
that,
I would
okay.
suggest that it's better you guys
Your
have
house is in Africa.
a financial
Exactly.
discussion. Even though it did not happen before you got married, it's something you need to have now. It will bring you out of debt faster when you have that discussion with your wife.
Amen. Somebody's asking here that Pastor Line, $200 spending money is a lot. The account will be empty in less than 1 week.
I think it's based on how much you have.
So it's based on how much you have. It's based on what you and your husband agree on. You can agree on $50 less or so. If it's $20 too much for you, whatever the amount is that you want to set, for us it's $200. If it's whatever you agree on, how comfortable you are in your finances, you can set the limit of what anybody can, but at least there should be something somebody can spend without calling your phone continuously. Peradventure, I want to buy McDonald's. I mean, I should be able to
Buy it without calling. Exactly.
Because we are not a
I
slave
agree.
here. So
I
there
agree.
must be a cap or a limit you set for your spouse that they can do freely without checking on you because it becomes a bondage. So set your limit.
So we have a question here. How do you encourage your spouse to work when there is only one person bringing in an income? He's content with living from paycheck to paycheck. That man is lazy.
Then
Why are you saying he's a man? Why are you not thinking he's a woman?
If you're living from paycheck to paycheck,
There's already
that means you are working. There's a check.
yes coming in.
No, one is making the money.
Yes.
The other is not doing anything.
Doesn't want to
they
do
are saying, how
anything.
do you encourage your spouse to go to work because they want to stay home and they are content with one
paycheck.
coming in? I think that question probably is going to fall. It can fall on both ways. Sometimes men are lazy, but a lot of women are lazier.
Lazier.
Or lazier.
But okay,
Some women can be very lazy. They don't want to work.
Don't want to go out.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think this question,
And some men are also lazy.
this question needs to be answered in a way that we will be empathetic towards the person who is making the money and the other one
Who is not?
who is lazy. Let's assume that they are lazy, that's why they are not.
And maybe sometimes,
They are not working.
we might not even conclude on the laziness. Sometimes people have health problem. I mean, they should look at the real
Reason why
they are not working before we jump into conclusion. Because there are so many people that have different challenges. Also, some men don't understand that women sometimes like to take care of the kids. If, like Pastor Kingston said, if you look at the daycare money and all that stuff, you'll be able to make some decision if it's good for you to work or maybe you're just working.
But they should do
for
it
nothing.
together.
Yeah.
They need to have a common understanding
Yeah.
in regards to that.
Yeah.
But I think if I'm reading into this question, I think it's more to do about people who don't want to work, who are vain or impractical ambition.
Who is content?
I know guys who say, oh, I don't want to work for anybody. I'm a businessman. I'm going to do business.
Yes.
And for the past 10 years, they have not been doing
Nothing.
any
They're
business.
home.
They've not been making any money. And the spouse is waiting for the day
Yeah.
that they'll be able to earn some money. There are spouses who also hide behind and want to take care of the kids. And the husband comes home to come and take care of kids again after they are back from work. So there are people who are truly lazy. There are people who have vain goals, vain ambition, ambiguous ambition that is not practical, that does not make sense. We are pastors. We are now full-time pastors. There was a time we were working pastors. So we did not say, okay, I have a ministerial calling or a ministerial ambition. Therefore, I'm just going to wait until God answers my prayer. No. We went to work.
Yeah.
We went to work. We worked secular jobs until such a time when we were able to come into full-time ministry.
Yeah.
So don't use your ambition to make yourself an infidel. Somebody who cannot take care of their family.
That's so
And
wrong.
in this part of the world, if you want to work and you have low family income, the government will subsidize your daycare. If you fall outside of that category, then it makes sense. But if you're living from paycheck to paycheck, then the government should be able to subsidize your daycare. That means you make too little.
What if the person, the spouse, their job's coming on the table, but the spouse don't want to take any job? How do you handle that?
That man needs counseling.
He needs counseling.
Because you need to take a bird at hand
Yes,
than 20 in the bush.
that's true.
I have worked at Burger King before.
Well, when we got to the U.S.
I worked in the United States. I worked at Burger King. I worked at Bojangles, which was also another fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
I have done many jobs.
Yeah.
There is hardly any field that I've not ventured into. At some point, I wanted to even go into welding.
That's right.
My wife said, no. There was a time I wanted to join the United States Army.
Yeah.
I didn't forget my ministerial ambition, but I had to put food on the table. So you need to take care of your family. Let's go on forward.
There's a question here from a viewer. She says there are situations where wives are torn between providing financial support for parents and their own families.
That's one of the
What
things I wanted to touch on.
what would you recommend on balancing or prioritizing this financial responsibility?
That's okay.
It can happen anyway, the wife or the husband and all that, sending money to the family. Okay, I'm still going to use myself as an example. My wife came from a kind of different kind of family background. I came from a family background where my dad, before he passed, every Christmas and every celebration period, he brings in a lot of bag of rice, kill cow, and share to families inside the compound and beyond. So that means it fell on us after he passed, and myself and my elder brother took over. So what happens that during Christmas or festivity, we send a lot of money back home and settle families, not immediate families.
Extended families.
Extended families.
Uncles, aunties, nephews.
Way farther than that. So now, my wife came from a family where they are just close family. The dad is a prof, and they just deal things within themselves. And all the brothers are here in Canada. They are older. She's last born. And I have younger ones who are still in school. So when it comes to, she doesn't have anybody to send money to.
Yep.
There is
But you do.
I have people to send money to. So for her, she didn't quite understand it initially. She was like, okay, why are you sending money to these people? Don't they have parents? So, and I made her to understand that, look, the parents are poor and some of them are not doing so well, and actually paid a boy's school fees from year 1 to final year. The guy is not related to me in any way. I just met him. He was washing my clothes when I was in university. And my wife understood that, okay, we are supporting people.
Yep.
So we had that discussion because I told her, look, we are giving not for us. We are giving so that our children will not lack helpers. She understood that part, and she came to an understanding that, okay, this is actually a right thing to do. But if you don't bring the woman to that level of understanding, or bring your husband to understand that I have families, because most families are like my wife part of the family. The mom is earning well. She was working in the university. She was PA to the provost. She was well paid. My father-in-law was a professor teaching and was well paid. So, and the brother, everybody was doing okay. My mom was a politician, but my mom has this mentality of mothers of before. My mom is a politician. She's earning well. She believes that children are meant to take care of their parents. So even though I remember when I was still working in Africa, my mom was earning more salary than I do. But Christmas period, my mom will ask me, where's the Christmas gift? And I said, which Christmas gift? The last time I checked, your paycheck is higher than mine. With all the money politicians, governor is giving you, she was the woman leader in my place. She said, I need you to get to understand this, the mentality that children help support their parents, support their younger ones. In as much as I have my own money, you need to have an ownership, a mentality of giving.
To your family.
To your family. So what I'm saying here, Ma, is this. Couples need to have a discussion. Let your wife know that I have families I have to support, not to the detriment of your immediate family.
That's the key point. Yeah, Pastor Lanre, do you have anything to add?
Well, Pastor Kisley has said a lot, but I think this goes back to the fundamental of things, the foundation of things. That's why everyone, listen to me, single people. For us who are married, we're already in our jail. And it's a life sentence. So single people, listen to me before you take your leap.
Singles, listen. Listen.
This is why you need proper premarital counseling. Now, Some people get married and they don't get counsel before they get married. Don't ever get married without getting proper counseling. Because this is where you deal with issues like this. Now, when you're going to get married to somebody, if your counselor knows their onions, your counselor ought to put all these things on the table.
Yes.
What is your background? What is our background? Do you have family you need to support? Do you have family that depends on you? If you don't have any now, in the future, what if you have?
Okay.
So you already have everything understood and planned before you get into this life prison.
Okay, so I'm listening.
I'm not saying the prison the bad way. This is a prison I don't want to come out of. I don't want to be released from this prison. But what I'm saying is, marriage is a lifetime commitment. So you need to make sure you understand what you are getting into. So if you have family that you need to support, your spouse needs to know about it.
Okay.
Don't go and get married and then you start hiding money to send to your family.
No, that's wrong.
That is breeding dishonesty. That is breeding unfaithfulness. If you can be unfaithful in financial dealings, how are we sure you are not unfaithful in other things? So
I'm confused.
unfaithfulness is unfaithfulness. So make sure that you talk, like Pastor Kingsley said,
Now, Pastor Lanre,
you talk about this.
I get that
Put
point.
it on the table.
I get that point of you saying for singles. Now, what about people that are married, that are already in this? What I mean?
People who are married still need counseling. You know, these are the things you need to put on the table. I have had people in my office, people who are remarrying. I've had people in my office, people who are already in the marriage and having issues. So what I do for them is I bring them and we have a contractual agreement. My mom needs $300 in rent every month in Africa.
Okay.
My husband is giving me a hard time in sending the money. Husband, your wife's mom needs $300.
Now, my
For
first
accommodation
question
in
is, do
Africa.
they have the $300?
Exactly.
That's where I'm
You know,
going.
because that's, I mean,
That's
okay,
where I'm going.
let's-
So if you, I know a guy who came to me for, a couple who came to me for counseling, and the guy does not even feed his children here.
imagine
Does
that.
not pay the school fees of
Imagine
children.
that. I mean, that's
Totally
where
wrong.
I'm going.
He
Yeah.
leaves all the responsibility to his wife, and his wife is dying and drowning. But every penny that comes into his pocket,
He's going to Africa.
he's sending it to Africa.
My brother, hey.
That is something terrible.
Wrong. Very wrong.
It is wrong.
It's wrong.
So that's why you put everything on the table. Can we afford to send your mother $300?
Yeah.
If the answer is no, how much can we
we
afford?
afford?
I think that's where people need to get to. That's where I'm going, Pastor Lanre, that couples need to come together and see how much they can afford for their parents and their family or loved ones that are in that need support. You know, because we should not just come up with an amount. If we can afford even more, then we should do more. If we cannot afford more, then we can give less. But God knows what you know what you can afford, and God sees your heart. If it's $50 that you can afford, my dear brother and sister, don't kill yourself. Send what you can afford. If you can afford 500, send it. But your family here should not be lacking. Your children should not be lacking. Your wife should not be crying, and yet all your money is going directly to Africa.
Yeah.
Some of you, they are only chopping your money.
Exactly.
I don't know if I'm...
100%.
They are
Yeah.
chopping your money. Even those people you are sending money to can buy you.
Some of them have built houses.
They have
with
built
your
4,
money.
5
On your
houses and you
money.
don't have one. And in the bit that you are not taking care of yourself, some people have that mentality. Like Pastor Kingsley was saying in our own case, I don't have people I send money to, but nevertheless, I believe in what Pastor Kingsley's mom said. I believe it's a blessing to take care of your parents.
Yes.
Whether they need it or
Or
not,
not.
it's a responsibility
If you can afford
if you can
it.
afford it. Even
you
Pastor
can afford
Lanre, even if you cannot afford it, there are times, once in a year, you can bless your parents so they can bless you back in return. It doesn't have to be money. monetary sometimes. It can be different things you can give just to attract or to connect that parental blessing. But I don't support killing yourself, destroying yourself, destroying your marriage, breaking your family here to support a family back home.
50 jobs for your family back home. No, it's not.
You want to send money to your brothers and sisters back home when your children here are suffering so much that your own child has gone into prostitution.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Totally wrong.
Your daughter is prostituting because you cannot support her, and then you are sending some money to your own brothers in Africa.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Take care of your responsibility.
Right here.
Your nuclear family first, and then your extended family.
And also some people go into debt.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Finish their life here for people over there, and then you get disappointed, you get heartbroken. When you go to Africa, you see that
they are doing
better than you. Let's be wise in what we do, because right here in North America, people work so hard to make this money. God, you know if you have it. If you have it, do for your family. It's a blessing. It's a great blessing to be a blessing to your extended family.
Yes.
To be, especially your parents, it's a great blessing. It's an honor, but don't destroy yourself.
Yeah.
Amen.
Next question. It says, my family is in financial crisis, and my ex offered to pay some bills. What should I take
Say that
the
again.
money?
Can we read it again?
My family is in financial crisis, and my ex offered to pay some bills. Should I take the money?
Is your husband in support of your ex, or your wife is in support of your ex paying that bill?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
If they are in support, that's fine.
Yeah, they must be in support. You must agree to take on that.
I know Pastor Kingsley's.
What's your take?
Let's get your take. For me,
How did you go and discuss your family matter with your ex?
I think that's the first key.
Hey!
Let's hear it.
Hallelujah.
I like that.
How did your ex get to know that you
you're
guys are
suffering?
having
Maybe Pastor K, you were walking by and he saw, or he saw.
you
No,
crying
just
over
let
it.
me wait.
Pastor Shelley,
I'm just.
you are not doing good. Let me play the devil's advocate here. What if your ex, you have children with your ex, and your children that you have with your ex, your family is connected to your children, and your children told their dad or their mom, who is your ex, grandma is sick, and nobody has money
To help.
And
Well,
the ex,
if that's the case, but Pastor Lanre, I believe it's not.
that's not-
I
this is
want
not
to
the
support
case.
Pastor Kingsley's
This is not the case.
vote that you are still talking to your ex. There is something there.
There is
that
still- the
delivers
blood is
you
still
to
running hot
after.
for your ex.
There is something wrong with that.
you are
In
going
fact,
to your
how
ex,
can your ex be?
be trying to
is
offer you.
disgraceful.
There is more to it, man.
So their
But
secret
to
is
answer
still
to answer
together.
the question, your spouse has to be on board.
Yes.
Let's go on, Pastor.
And if you are the ex, would you be on board, Pastor?
No, man.
You will let grandma die.
Grandma will not die. But why is it only the ex that's going to rescue?
What if there is no rescue coming
So
from
the way I'm looking at this is that if it's the lady, she's been talking to the ex.
And if it's the man,
The ex seems to be her pastor, her counselor.
Pastor
wanna
K.
support that.
Amen.
I want to support that too.
The ex is her
It's a
counselor.
very thin line.
So it's the ex that is, because she's not taking our issue to the ex. Because I don't think it's the children. Even if it's the children are getting child support. So that child support is supposed to support.
What if there's no child support?
Why you're not paying child support and you want to borrow me money?
I think there's a fundamental problem.
Something is
There's
wrong.
something wrong with that picture.
For your
Pastor Casey's body is on.
Very
Pastor
wrong.
Lanre, would you allow and my ex to support your bills, to pay your bills?
My own bills?
Yes.
Not my bills. We are not talking about my
Our
bills.
bills.
No, we are talking about your family is in crisis.
Yes, so
Our
it's the family now.
It's our
His
family.
family,
in
the
crisis.
immediate family.
This one.
Yes. Pastor, you didn't get it.
Pastor's
The
blood has
immediate
fallen in
family
our
I'm talking about.
If my ex wants to help you financially, would you take it?
You don't want to ask me. I'm the wrong person you are asking.
Why?
Because me, as if there is no condition to it, I will not let grandma die.
There's no grandma dying here. Pastor, like the story is clear. It's not about grandma dying. It's you. To help you. Can he help you?
Let me think about it.
Okay.
I know
All
for a surety that you will never take the money.
Why do you say that?
I know you. You won't.
What if somebody is dying?
Men have egos, sir. They
and
will
they will
prefer
not
to
eat
go
it.
out there and get
Oh, so
get that
better
some
than the-
somewhere else.
It's not about men. For me, if an ex wants to help us pay the bills, Pastor Lanre, I will not agree. Because this is opening the door for the devil.
Yes, because he will come
It
back
is
to
opening
ask.
the door for the enemy. Now the lady borrows you money, is your ex. He borrows us money. Now he's have to be talking to you.
Yes, now.
Oh, she just called me that.
Can
when
I
am paying
can
back?
I feel you a little?
Can
You
I
know,
feel you a
can you
little?
come over?
I agree.
I need some
Don't
crisis.
take money from your
Don't
ex.
take it because
Don't
there's
take money
something
from your ex.
behind
There-
it.
There might be something behind it.
Yes.
Let's go forward, Pastor Shed.
That's more. to this.
My spouse secretly gives money out to their ex. Is this right?
This is worse than the first one.
Can we read it again?
My spouse secretly gives money out to their ex. Is that right?
Is it child support?
No,
Secretly.
They can't.
Secretly,
What is
no, sir, child
support?
support
No,
is
no,
not
stop
secret.
playing.
Child support is
Ah,
not secret.
it's
Child
not
support is
secret.
not
It is government approved.
Yes, child support is they take it out of your paycheck. It's not secret.
No. This question is something else.
Now that person needs to be put under some serious lock. This is wrong.
Scrutiny.
Somebody said spy. The first question: can you spy on your spouse? This is
The
The
moment
reason
when
for
you
you
see
to
it,
spy.
send your spies.
To spy. Why would your spouse
no,
be
you should
giving
not
money
be
to
doing
the
anything
ex?
secretly from your spouse. Please, don't keep secrets. That is not a
And you
sign
should not be
of
talking to
oneness.
your ex and sending money to your ex without your wife's permission. For what? Why would you still be having
Why
sending
you
money
say wife? What about husband?
or sending money to your
Both
ex?
parties,
now?
eh?
This is so wrong.
No, this question seems she's sending to her ex.
No, it's both parties. I
My
think it's
spouse secretly gives money
out to their ex. It is the right.
Whichever the ex, either the man ex
Or
or
the
the
woman
woman
ex.
ex, it is wrong. It is wrong. It is provoking
It is
the
wrong.
devil. It is
I
opening the
think
door to the
that,
enemy.
that couple needs
You
counseling.
need counseling.
Let's go on.
Is it right for spouses to have individual access to each other's account?
I believe.
Account, I believe,
We
yeah.
discussed that already.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that if you trust each other.
Yeah.
If you're together, if you're working together, that's the biblical principle. Feel free to have access.
Let's go.
We got married for love, but now money has become the major factor in our marriage. What should I do?
Was it love or money?
We've been married for long and love has become a major factor. What does she mean by
We
oh,
got
we
we
got
got
married
no.
for
It
fun.
says
We
we
got
got married for love, but now money has become the major factor in our marriage. What should I do? Love has gone out the window.
money has become
Yes.
I don't, for me, I see this question in a different light. I see that the love was not fully there. Because if the love was fully there, I know sometimes they say love comes down a little bit, but not the extent that money takes over. I know it happens.
Money changes
In
people,
every
Pastor.
marriage, marriage, you need both love and money. Although somebody asked, I saw that question earlier. In every marriage, you need both love and a little bit of money, because no matter how much you love a man, you get hungry to the extent that you hate him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you say only love, love conquers all. Yes, I agree, love conquers all, but without money, it's still an issue. Now, looking at this question now, it says money has become a factor. That means this person loves money way more than you before you guys got married.
We didn't just show it.
It
It
was
does-
underlined. It was there.
So,
It was
because
there.
the money showed up, although money changes people,
That's what I wanted to say. That money sometimes it's a tempter. That if you have not mastered money, when you get money, it can turn you
Turn
to
you,
another
twist your
man.
character.
Destroy,
It can
yeah.
change.
Yep.
I've seen money change a lot of people. And that is why I believe before we round up today, we should speak a little bit of money. People change because of money. Relationship changes. Some men, they become so proud. Men that used to stay at home before, they start going out, looking for what is lost, looking
What
for
is not lost.
what is not
Not
looking
lost,
for
yeah.
women. It changes people. It does changes people.
Yes, man.
The
you're right.
love of money
well, I tell people that you don't know anyone
until they have
until
money.
they have money. You don't know anyone until they have money. I believe that if you haven't tested someone with money, you can't really guarantee that you know who they are.
Yeah, I believe in that.
It's true.
I believe that. You see a lot of couples, they were loving each other. When the money comes, it tears them apart. That's the greatest thing that tears families apart, especially couples. Money, 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 money.
I heard of a woman, I think it was here in Edmonton or something, or here in Canada. She won the lottery. The moment she checked and she found out that she had won a couple of $1 million in lottery money, she just went home, packed her bags,
And left.
And left.
Wow.
Money.
Money.
So you can never tell what people can do.
Even people that
Until
come,
they are
men that
tested
bring
with money.
women from Africa, maybe nurses, doctors, when they get here, things change because money has come into play. The woman is not ready to submit anymore because she's making more money than her husband.
Yes.
She's a medical doctor. She's making about $200,000 or $300,000. You're making only $20,000 or $30,000. It's as if she's now in charge of the house because money has entered into her spirit. That's why every Christian, every child of God should have the mastery of money. You should be able to master money and know that money is not meant to use you. You are meant to use money. You are not meant to love money. You are meant to money is meant to serve you. It's a spirit.
It's meant to work
on
for
that,
you.
on that money thing, I feel if you truly love your partner,
Yeah.
when you guys start making money,
Then you should come together.
your partner becomes key in your life. He's
Yeah.
the person you want to spend your money on.
Yeah.
Because I've seen couples who struggled before and they never had money. As soon as they had money, do you see the man focus more on taking care of the wife?
Which is very good.
Which is so that love, if that love is there, even though
And when the
changes-
money comes,
money-
it should come, it should bring you together.
I agree, money changes people, but it's somebody that's why they said at times be very careful who you marry.
Yeah.
Because watch who you marry and see how they react when little money comes in. Because then they will react 10 times worse when big money comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if somebody genuinely loves you and you see little money comes in and what is after, whether male or female, is you. No matter the amount of money that comes into that family, the man or the woman will focus on their spouse.
They'll remain open.
Money is key. So to help this person, I say if money has become the focus, you used to be in love, you married for love, but money has become the focus in your marriage, then you need to put love back in focus. So you need to find a love that is lost. So both of you need to come back and realize there's a problem now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this
fix
money
it,
thing
yeah.
is causing
Problems.
problems. So money has come to trump the love you have
Yes.
for one another. I tell people, in any situation or circumstance in life, people are more important than money.
Yes,
And that's the
100%.
truth. And that's what a lot of people don't know. People are more important than money.
Money, 100%.
People are more valuable than money. Money will always go, but people are
people are
always
what you would
there.
have left.
They will stay there with you when you have problem. When you have people, you have everything. The more people that you have surrounding you is better than millions of dollars. A lot of people that have money today, they don't have money anymore. But they have people that restore them back
Yes.
to where they need to be because they did not let go of those people. So don't let money change you. I want to speak to that marriage. If that man or that woman is listening to me, don't let money change you. Remember where you're coming from. Remember that God brought you to this level. And if you do not manage money very well, that same spirit can depart from you and you can go down again. So it's very important that you have that in your perspective, that money that came down can also fly away.
Yes.
It's a current.
Yes.
The word currency comes from the word current. It flows. It has power to flow. The Bible says he giveth power to get wealth. It's God that gives power to get wealth. So if you don't acknowledge that God or acknowledge your wife or your husband that sustained and helped you when you were nobody, that money will fly away. I can guarantee
Yeah.
you. You're going to mismanage it. And that's why a lot of people get money, but the money is gone because they never mastered it very well.
And people lose money. They lose people too.
Yeah.
Because
They
good
lose
people.
good
You lose the
people.
good
I'm
people.
talking about good
Yeah.
people.
And then the
Please talk
deceptive
about
people
that,
come into your life.
Yeah.
The good people empty your life.
People that
Change
make
your
you
friends
well.
now
Yeah, you
because
change
I
you
your
have
agree.
friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
those who
agree.
loved you, those who helped you to
Yeah,
get that
you
money.
throw them
Exactly.
aside.
And
Yeah.
then you get that Jezebelic wife or Jezebelic girlfriend that is siphoning your money, making you feel happy in few minutes, but she does not love you. And you get wrong friends people that are partying with you, people clubbing with you, people drinking with you, and that is not that. They don't love you.
They just love what you
They
give.
love what you have, and when that thing that you have is gone, they will surely
gone.
depart.
Yes.
That is why those true people that you knew when you were nobody, keep them tight.
Exactly.
Don't
Yeah.
let them go, because they are your foundation and the pillars that sustain you.
Take inventory. Take inventory of your life. And check on those people who stood by you when they had nothing to gain
From
From you. That's right.
It's important. that
It's
those are
very
keepers.
important.
Those are people you need to. I think we need to handle
Especially these men.
a particular issue.
Men, all the time. So, just a few weeks ago, a lady came to me, Pastor, and said, Pastor, please pray for my husband. He's getting money again. And this is the problem of our marriage.
Look
The
at that.
moment he gets money,
The money,
he comes
all
down.
the time, anytime he gets money, we don't see him anymore. He's always out there. Please, Pastor, she came
Pray
to me.
that he doesn't
Pray
have
that
money.
this money goes now.
Yes.
Yes, she said so. I'm telling you, Pastor Kingsley, let this money go, because this money is a devil to our family. There are people that money is a devil to their family. Anything that will take you to hell, God will not give it to you.
Remove it.
If money will lead you to hell, to be carrying girlfriend, to be cheating, why should God give you what will destroy you? Why? You tell me why. If it's going to make you proud, why should God give it to you?
Very
Anything assigned to destroy you must be taken away, because God is more concerned with your soul than your well-being. It's better for you. The Bible
Very
says,
true.
what shall it profit a man
if he
to
gains
gain the whole world and lose his soul?
soul.
So if you have not mastered money, you are getting no money from God, because God will never bless you to destroy you.
That's right. Very profound.
Yeah, I think I need to move in a little bit of a different direction here, going back to where we started, because this is affecting a whole lot of families, and I
Yes,
know it.
sir.
The issue of next of kin, very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very important. So who should be your next of kin? Your spouse, your children, or your relatives? Who should be your next of kin? I'll throw that open here before I
Who should be your...
I
oh,
give
yeah,
you my
Pastor
take.
Kingsley.
I think it's your spouse and your children.
Yeah.
No.
It has to be one, or you
Who
can split it.
is your
It can be
next
both.
of kin? It can be both.
You can.
It can be
Have
both.
primary and secondary.
What if you make several people your next of kin? You could easily cause all kinds of trouble.
Okay, I'm going to say to you, Pastor, like, it depends on the relationship you have. There are single women listening to me right now. Your next of kin should be your children. Your next of kin should be your children. And there are spouses listening to me right now. I believe your spouse should be your next of kin.
Next of kin.
That's my belief. And Pastor, I'm going to give a life story. And this is my own story. My uncle died a few years ago in the United States of America. He had done an insurance of $2 million. And when he died, the church he was going anyway, nobody was ready to bury him. The insurance that he did, when he did the insurance, the next of kin he put on the insurance was his mom. His mom was his next of kin, which is my grandmother. And then now the grandmother was already dead. He already did the insurance before the mama passed away. Now that the mama passed away, and he also died, he was married. He did not change his next of kin. His wife was in Africa. Nobody was going to bury him. My dad flew to America to bury him, consulted the insurance company. They said, no, the money cannot be given to anybody but Mrs. Rachel, Mrs. Rachel was in the grave. The money had to be returned to the insurance never paid anything. They lost the whole money because he did not remember to change it. A lot of men put their mother on their next of kin, their mother that is about to pass away, or their mother that is already passed. They never change it. Especially men, they don't trust their wife.
Even women, Pastor Elizabeth. Even women. This issue of next of kin is a very, very, is a very strong issue. There are people who put. Sometimes the problem is not extended
Some
family.
people put their friends.
It's not extended family or even friends sometimes. Sometimes it's between children and spouses. There are men and there are women who make their children their next of kin as opposed to their spouse.
Yep.
There are people who died and their spouse has to now depend on their children for subsistence.
And then the children could be mean too.
And the children, oh yes.
Yes.
So we need to be careful. Your next of kin, if you are in the right kind of marriage, your next of kin should be your spouse.
You know, a lady came to me
By all means.
just few months ago and showed me her stuff and said, Mama, do you see this? We have $250,000 in. And do you know who my husband put as the next of kin? My kids. He does not even care of how I'm going to survive if anything happens to him. And the kids are ready to take the money, and they already told her she's going to get nothing. That's what you do, because sometimes you don't think about these things. We don't think about how it's supposed to be. I believe you should put your spouse, and if there is a secondary next of kin, put your children.
Yeah. And in a case whereby you, like Pastor Kinsey said earlier, you had a prior marriage with children, even though you put your wife as next of kin, let your will be clear that, or you put your wife and in a separate document, let it be clear that a portion of what you have goes to the children that you had in your first marriage. If you don't trust your wife enough to take care of those people. And most times some wives too are like that. The husband dies, they forget every other child the man ever had before he married them.
So I think the other reason why people don't, like before, when I started working, I realized that next of kin was only one person. Now, the last time I reviewed it, because I also had this issue I was talking about, I had my younger brother as my next of kin because
Thank you, Sister
I was
Jacqueline.
single. I was single when I started working. So most people always put their siblings as their next of kin, but they always forget to change it. So I remembered mine actually 3 years into the marriage. That's when I remembered it, and I went and I changed it to my wife. When I came to North America, I was not thinking about it like, look, I'm always with my wife whenever we're traveling most of the time. What happens is that if for any reason, God forbid, both couple is gone, who gets the thing? It's got to be the children. So that's why my next of kin was split into two. 50% wife, 50% for my first son.
Your first son.
Your first son?
Yes, because he has to be only two names.
Oh, wow.
That itself is problematic.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
It has to only be two names.
Because what if your first son wants to eat it alone? Because we have seen that
And don't
happen.
want to share.
Yeah, but there's no way. The other area you're going to
That's why I keep talking
is
about will.
Is the
Yeah.
will.
We need, guys, I'm guilty too. I don't have a will. We all need to write a will. It's very important. Whether you are young or old, you need a will. Don't leave anybody to be the trust carrier for the family, because you don't know what anybody would do. So, like Pastor Kinsey left his first son, of course he's a good boy, I know him, I love him, but as he grows up, what if, God forbid, he marries a wife that does not want him to share? You don't know.
Yeah.
So please, let's make sure we get our wills in place. A will does not mean you're about to die.
That's
This
a
is
question.
another level. Well, will we get there?
That's a question from a
Yeah,
single
go on.
mom here. I said, please, okay, it says, say something to single moms who intend to remarry. There are some men showing up not pushed by love, but by what those single moms have, money. So
houses.
what she's trying to say is that men are showing up not because they love them, they want an advice, but those men who are showing up because they
Of
probably
what they
see that the single mom is probably
a
getting
house,
a money
yeah.
or getting a pension from her ex or late husband or something like that.
And that's very clear. Like we spoke last week, we already spoke on this issue that the signs to see or to check that people really care about you and people really love you. Those signs we spoke about it last week. And if we still have it, we can post it again on the comments so that
Yeah.
people can see it, especially for single men, single women, single men. You need to see the signs. Don't just jump into it. If you know somebody is pursuing you because of money, because of house, they keep asking you how much are you worth. There are questions you see. There are things people say. You know, I don't take what people say lightly. The Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. When people begin to ask you, there is a lady that asked me and my husband a few years ago, oh, so what if something happens to you? Who takes your property? What if you die? You know, this kind of questions is what they are thinking in your heart. It's not a question. when people begin to ask you, how much are you worth? You are single. Do you have any savings somewhere? Begin to check those things. They never call you to check on you. They don't call you to see how you're doing, but they are concerned with what you have. They are covetous. They are thieves. They don't like you. Delete them out.
And I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to quote Oprah Winfrey. She says, if people show you who they are, believe them.
Believe
If
them the
people
first
show
time.
you who they are, believe them the first time.
That's
first
right.
time.
That's right.
And I can't believe how much wisdom I have found in that over the years.
It's who they are.
People will show you who they are.
But you are the
Believe
one
And they're
them.
trying to
wanting to
convince
believe.
you
That
that is not who they are.
That's who they are.
Believe them
The first time. Believe them.
Believe them the first time. Be careful. And it's important that families also understand that the issue of inheritances causes a lot of problems. So
Between siblings.
straighten
Yes.
yourself
It's important
out.
to do that.
Put plans and measures in place. Don't let people have to make those decisions for you. And the last other thing I want to talk about in this regard of things left behind and things we build while we are living our lives is the issue of investments as well. Should your spouse know all your investments? Should you be building a house in Africa or in the Philippines or in the
Caribbean.
Caribbean without your spouse knowing about it?
That is so wrong.
I agree.
Should you have investments that your spouse does not know about?
I don't think that's right. I think I'm going to subscribe to say your spouse needs to know everything you're doing.
Be open.
You know, we've seen this before. People show up and say after something happens, your husband is owing me this. This is so much confusion. And that's why there's so much fight, chaos between siblings. Let things be transparent. Let
Yes.
things be clear. Make it open, make it plain, so that people know what you have. Let your spouse know that you have a house in Africa. You have a house, you're building a house. Don't give her a surprise. Why are you surprising me if we are one? I don't need that.
And if you have extramarital affairs that has produced children, let your spouse know.
No.
Now let's answer the issue of secrets now. I put that forward earlier. Let's answer it straight away. I'm going to let others answer this. But if you have had extramarital affairs that produce children, don't keep those children a secret. If you are still in that marriage, your spouse has the right to know. Don't keep secrets from your spouse.
No.
Yes, that's
It's
true.
not right. I think it
It's
would be
very important.
it would be detrimental to the family. It will cause a lot of problems if you keep secret. You could you could be walking outside and a woman comes up to you and say, "Oh, this is your husband's child." What would you do?
It's terrible. It's a bad place to put anybody.
Well, I'm
But
going to
sometimes some people don't know, man.
yeah.
They
That
don't
they
know
have
that they have-
children.
They don't know that they have
Yeah,
children.
they've been
Seriously.
depositing their seed all around.
Ah,
So they don't
Lord
know.
have mercy. Say, like me, I told my wife, look, there's so person I dated, and I am not sure if that person shows up with a child, and that child is within so age, it's a possibility.
Wow,
I mean, that's good. That's openness.
that's interesting.
But I know that
That's
no
where
child.
in the days where you are not a child of God.
Yeah, when I wasn't a Christian, no, that was when I was even in the university year one, and after the but
And that happens a lot. My dad also, when he was schooling in Strathclyde in his year 2 or so, he had kids. He had two, so I have 2 stepbrothers. So, I mean, and they were introduced to us when we were maybe 10 years old. We got to meet them. I love them to death. They are in the UK. One of them is in Germany. The 2 of them are doing great. We didn't live together, Pastor Kingsley, but they are also pastors. They also have churches. So, I mean, I'm like, what kind of stuff is this? So it shows, you know, there's nothing you can do if they are your family.
don't hide anything, because
No.
for me, if you don't tell them, then it happens later on, it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Because the key thing is that I know that there may not be a child from that relationship.
But there might be. There is a 2%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, look, this is what could have, well, this is a possibility. If any other person shows up with a child that looks like me,
It's
it's
not-
not possible.
Okay. Now, with that being said,
Yeah.
the issues of secret, I like to put a caveat to that. There are some things when it comes to marriage that are on a need-to-know basis. Now, I'm not saying you should keep secrets and be dishonest, but there are some things that are on a need-to-know basis. For instance, your spouse asking you a man asking his wife, I want you to tell me your sexual history. How many people have you slept with and blah, blah, blah.
This is serious
Just
now.
come out rightly and tell your
No.
spouse, I don't feel comfortable talking about that.
That's it. If
I
he doesn't
agree.
take it, he doesn't love you.
I agree.
You want to know my past sexual history?
Tell your spouse, I don't feel comfortable talking about that. I don't think that's going to get us anywhere.
Yep.
I don't think that's going to build our relationship. I don't think that's going to do us any good. And there are not days I want to remember. There are days of ignorance.
Yeah.
And now, behold,
I'm a new creature.
I'm a new creature.
All
things are passed away. All things are become
And there are so many scriptures to support you. The Bible says, remember not the former things. Do not consider the things of old.
Behold,
I have done a new
I
thing.
will do
so
it.
let's make new sexual experiences.
Yeah.
And forget the old ones, because there's nothing you're going to get from that. You're not keeping a secret. You just don't want to talk
About it.
about that.
Now what-
So don't go and be telling your spouse how so many years ago how you cheated and blah 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 blah. When your marriage is in a good place, all things are passed away. God has forgiven you.
Yeah.
All those things don't help anybody.
He doesn't.
Don't let
It's-
anybody
it
convince
puts
you
a
into
seed
something.
in them
Yeah.
that they begin to nurse.
Yes.
And I'm going to back this up to my husband.
Okay.
When I met him, and he wanted to tell me everything he had done. I tell you the gospel truth is because God ordained us to marry. Because it was overload of information. And that overload of information killed my I'm like, eh? He kept continuing. I'm like, and another one again. There was so much overload of information, I nearly died. I went on crying. So sometimes it's not helpful. Sometimes
not.
it destroys. Sometimes it's a seed that is sown. Because many a times I think about some stuff in my early days of marriage. I'm like, is the spirit coming back again? You know, those kind of things can destroy. If you don't need to say it and you don't feel comfortable, don't dig up your past.
Yeah.
But if it's a past that is going to hurt your future, then you can dig it up.
Yes, man. I
That's
agree with
true,
you, man.
yeah.
Because in that area, what I want to touch on is why do you want to know? Because for men, it's going to bring down your morale in a way. And for some time, for some women, they're going to feel like they are not enough.
Yep.
You've had some escapades. You've dated Miss Ward before. Why do you want to tell me that? And now,
Or comparing me to your past.
Yes.
Oh,
Comparing
she
me to
didn't
your
do this for me. Oh. This is
so
what she was
Her
doing before.
my ex-body used to look
look
like
at
that.
me,
Yeah.
So I used to date a six.
I agree, Pastor.
I used to
Yeah.
date a man that is 6'4", but you are 5'9".
You're short. Look at you. You're short.
You understand? So those kind of things can bring issues in a marriage that is already set.
Yep.
So I would
Singles
suggest,
also, yeah.
especially I would advise that please don't ask such questions. For the man, you are going to lose your mind. Because when I say lose your mind is that you're going to keep thinking. When in our dating days, when we check out, when a girl tells us something like that, you now try to see how to beat the guy. I think, Pastor, I understand what I'm talking about.
Competitive.
You are trying to now, you are going to try to outperform the person. Now, if it's happening in your marriage, every time you feel that you underperformed. Yeah.
Which can cause complex in the marriage.
Yes.
Your wife has set a bar.
Your wife has set
Or
it
the
down for you.
husband.
And also during the days of fight, they can even use it to abuse each other.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
at
Oh,
you.
look. Yeah. That's true.
You can't even do anything.
No, you can't
You are not
perform.
like my past.
Yeah, you can't
Fake.
perform.
There are things that can be coming out.
It's all over, Jackie.
Yes.
There is a question that came up during the money issue that the lady is still asking us to answer. I don't know if you have it, Sister Tanika. The lady, she's asking that my husband does not consult me to spend the money, but he consults his mom, my mother-in-law. If you can back up that question, she's still asking. She's asking, we didn't take her question. That's very paramount to her. She wants to know, what should she do?
They need counseling for sure.
You need need to change the man's orientation a little bit, because if he's listening to his mom on how to spend, that means he's still mommy's boy.
Can you say it again, Pastor Kingsley?
If the man is listening to the mom on how to spend you guys' money, it's your money also, your husband is not matured enough to be a husband. He's still mommy's boy.
My God.
So you need to try as much as possible, as Dr. Liz has taught us over the years, women at the neck, you need to find a way to channel that head.
Enter his body. Women carry power,
yes.
Pastor Kingsley.
Yes, ma'am.
Emotional power, sexual power, food power. We have so many powers. One day I'll be teaching women on the 5 powers women carry that can change a man.
Yes.
Yeah. Who is that man that cannot change?
He
So
can.
you need to rechannel his head to understand that, look, okay, but do it in a way that, because he's deeply a mommy's boy. So it's going to take you time to actually get him off that. So, and to get him off that is, you, as Ma said, woman power.
Women power. Use your
Yes,
power.
Use your power.
Hey, food power.
Not just food. Some men
Sexual power.
Walk on the man, let his blood run hot. He will not think of his
Emotional
mother.
power.
I'm an example. I have power to change things.
If Delilah could bring down Samson, there is no man that a woman cannot bring down. Use your power.
Power is the
Samson
key.
was the most strongest man in that generation, but Delilah finally brought him down. You have power. I studied the Delilah spirit. People talk about her in the negative, but she carries some things you can learn. She used 5 powers on Samson. You can use it too.
Yes.
Wow. I hope that
I
Delilah,
think
don't you,
I
if
think
you are
that-
using Delilah, use it well.
I think that topic should be a topic for Father's Day, isn't it?
If you are
Oh, I'm
hey,
taking it too far.
this is serious. Using Delilah, hallelujah.
Pastor Kingsley, don't bastardize
It's
it.
It's being flipped in a positive way.
Delilah rubbed my brother's head and shaved it.
Okay, did he catch him? If
finished
he
the
came
man.
down and rub your hair, would you not bow?
He made the man, no, man. Samson lost everything, including his eyes. Man, look at the bad part of Delilah, not only the...
We have power. The good part. When you rub, like my husband, there are times when I want something, he's bald, I'll go and rub his head, and I get it.
Hallelujah.
I
He's
get
awake.
it.
Now he's
I get
awake.
it. Yeah.
Emotional power. He cry. When you cry and show some little emotions, man, they start, what do you want? I don't want trouble.
Yes. My husband will say, you know, I don't like when you cry.
Brothers,
It's
I
only
hope you-
Pastor Smith that cry does not use.
I hope guys
so I
are
don't
listening.
use that power on him, because when you cry, you have turned up a negative button.
Wow. Okay, let's start bringing this.
Amen.
It's a wrap. Okay, unless anybody has something else to chip in before we give the final words of wisdom.
There is one person that was asking, is it advisable for your husband or your wife to live in the same country, live separate in the same country?
It's not advisable. Maybe it's work. I'm going to say that if your husband is living in one place, we are both in Canada, but your husband lives in Toronto, you live in Edmonton. It's not advisable. Many a times, long distance relationship always causes strain on the marriage. If there is anything you guys can do to come together, even if the income will go down a little, I'm going to advise you that it's still the best thing for you guys to live together in the same house, regardless of what you might, unless it's really going to affect you guys. And if it's going to affect you, make it a temporary measure, not a permanent measure. If it prolongs more than a year or 2 years, it's never good. It causes problems. It breaks marriages, because the person you do not see, the person you don't talk to, the person you are not in conversation and relationship with at all times, also sexual relationship, very soon you drift apart.
Yes.
And not because you want to, you just don't feel the connection anymore.
I kind of have experienced this before. When I met my wife and we started dating, she had to travel for 2 years for her master's. She came back, everything was all good and all that. But when she was away, we talked every day.
That's good.
Now, then she now came here for her master's, and I was back home working, and we still talk every day.
Great.
But I realized something, and this is the advice I want to give to people who are going through this. You will say there is nothing wrong with our relationship. We're always talking. When you guys are together, you will search for something to talk about. You won't find it. When you are apart, you will spend hours on the phone. Talking. Saying sweet things. But once you are together, it becomes difficult. And that is
no
what
connection.
No, because yes, no connection. You guys have been apart too long, so you become
feel
telephone friends. And when you are together, you now have the
telephone friends.
There's no telephone love.
No, whatever you want to call it, could be love, my dear
marriage.
Pastor Chef. So when you have that issue, when you come together, you now find out that there are things you cannot tolerate with one another.
Yes.
I had that issue. I struggled with that issue for about 4 months when I came to Canada.
My God.
I couldn't tolerate
Can you tell us some of the issues?
Okay, there are some things. She's already used to being
Alone.
all by herself.
Yeah.
So, any little thing you do, that's not the way it's supposed to be.
Hey, she wanted to be tutoring you.
She
I know
wakes
that's
up in
one
the
of the
morning, she wants to make the bed. I'm still lying on the bed. I've not gotten a job yet.
Okay.
You understand?
And she
I'm
tells you to get up.
excuse me, I want to make, what do you mean? I make the bed before I go to school every day. Hold on. You feed the child, I think you're overfeeding the child this period. So those kind of issues, man, look at, okay.
And there are small issues.
Man, let me tell you the major issues that is going on now. Why we have 40% divorce about to happen in Canada now is this. The men are always working outside of home.
Now.
They go to Fort Mac. They work outside. Now they are in the house.
With Corona.
The only reason, that's why people say, I'm married out of love, no money. No. Because the man is always bringing the money home. He's working outside. He comes home, spend a week or two. You guys are going everywhere together, attending events, eating out and whatnot. Then he goes back to work. Now he's in the house. He's working from
There's
home.
no connection.
Now you have
overload, overtension.
Now you have found out that I cannot stand this man.
Yeah. There's no connection.
Get out.
No
You have found out that this man.
When is Fort Mac going to open up?
Yes.
Increase in divorce rate.
Yes, because he's now in your face. You are beginning to see things you don't like, you don't used to see before. You are beginning to notice things. You are not seeing that he's always on phone. The man has his friends in the rig that he sees every day. Now he's touching base with them. You have your ladies' friends who comes around to visit you once in a while. When they come around, the man wants your attention and you want to spend time with your lady friends. So that is bringing issues in the marriage.
My God.
I think
So long distance relationship does not
it's a no-no.
No,
it's a no-no. It never works. And I know it's for money. A lot of people that do long distance relationship, I'll tell you the truth, your relationship is more valuable than the money you want to make. I tell you, when the two of you come together, you can even make more money. Amen. Pastor Lanre.
I think we have overstayed
our time.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So let's bring this to a close.
Yeah.
I want to discuss quickly the several stages of marriage. You know what stage you're in. I think marriage has 4 stages.
Oh, wow.
There's the lust,
Wow.
there's the rust, there's the trust, and there's the dust.
Let's hear that again. If you've not been online, please join right now and put it down. 4 stages. It's going to help you married. It's also going to help the singles. 4 stages in marriage.
There's the lust. The lust is when you're just head over heels for one another. You want to get with one another, and you just want to be with one another. You haven't had enough of one another. So there's lust, and then there is rust. Rust is when things start getting rusty. You don't really have that fire anymore. You don't have that life anymore. You don't have that loving exuberance anymore. Then things are getting rusty. And then there is trust. Over the years or after some time, you've gotten to know one another. You are past the stage of lust. You are past the stage of rust. And you are now in a stage whereby you trust one another. You've seen the ups, you've seen the downs, you've seen the highs, and you've seen the lows. And then the last part of marriage that I don't think anybody should get to is the level of dust. That means your marriage has become dust.
Wow.
It is no longer together. It is no longer standing. It is no longer holding solid. It has become dust. You don't want your marriage to ever get to that point. Now, everybody listening to me, your marriage is in one of these levels. I pray in the name of Jesus that the level of trust is where your marriage will remain. And your marriage will thrive. And you will birth beautiful things out of your marriage. In the name of Jesus. Until we see you again next week. God bless you.
Well, that was very short. The dust, the lost, the trust.
Yes, very quick.
We already lost, tell us, people.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well,
I think we have to pick this up next week, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, you need to
delve into it. And
Yeah,
let us
it's
know. Yeah, the dust, the
lost
The lost,
The rust.
the rust, the trust, and the dust.
dust.
wow. The lost, the rust,
The
the trust,
and the
and
dust.
the dust. That's
So you
powerful.
don't want your relationship to be dust.
So what is the dust, if I can ask?
When things are falling apart, things are scattered all over the place. Your union is no longer together. That's when all these issues we've been discussing, that's when they start cropping up. And things are falling apart. Things are in
That's the
disarray.
destructive
You have
state.
become roommates. As opposed to lovers, you are now roommates. You just live in the same house. You don't know what your spouse is doing. Your spouse doesn't know what you're doing. You are dust.
So, I mean, is there a restoration for the level of the dust?
Of course, if you find, even in building houses, you find dust, you put it together, put some cement in it, it becomes solid again. So love is that cement.
Just you find it out.
Restore that love, and dust will be converted to trust. Listen to me carefully. There are people who want to be married. There are people who are sorry they are married. There are people worried they are married. There are people greedy and married.
Wow.
So which one?
Are you?
Interesting.
Can we have that again?
So there are people who want to be married.
People who want to be married.
There are people who are sorry they are married.
There are people who are sorry they are married. Man,
There are
that's a
people
regret.
who are greedy and married.
Greedy and married.
There are people who are happy they are married.
Wow.
So which one are you?
Wow.
People that want to marry, people that are sorry they are married, people that are greedy that they are married, and people that are happy they are married. Which one are you?
Which one are you? It's
Wow.
important that you identify.
I don't even understand the greedy one that they are married.
Oh my, we've been talking about it all night.
Wow, the greedy that they are married.
We've been talking about it all night. People who want to be married, people who are married and worried, people who are worried, that's the one I miss. People who are worried to be married.
Yeah, that one is finishing people.
People who are worried to be married, people who are sorry they married, people who are ashamed they're married, and people who are happy
They
they're
are
married.
married. My God. Ashamed they are married.
Yeah, so which one are you?
I mean, that might be a good topic for next week.
Yes.
Which one are you? You need to identify which one.
I think definitely
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Yeah. Which one are you?
Which one are you? You need to find where you are.
Amen. Amen. God bless you until we see you next week.
Amen.
Man, take care.
God bless you.